The jobs report came out, guys. Well, let me hit this real quick, what date this is, because I want to be sure everybody's got that if you want to reference it back later. So we are April 1st. So I'm not going to do any of this jerk off April Fool's crap to you guys. I ain't got time for that, right? And neither do you, right? We got to get down to business. I'm actually in Las Vegas right now, taking the whole team for some recreation. I haven't been able to get my team together for over 2 years. Right. And so when you think about that, I've got teams scattered all over the United States, multiple different parts of the US, East Coast, Central, and then mountain region. And then I have some in quite a few in the Pacific region. And as a result of all that, there are different time zones, different communication going on from different angles on deals all the time. And then, of course, interacting with clientele. And a lot of them have never met each other, interestingly enough, at least face to face. They communicate quite a bit during Zoom and however else, but not face to face. So our ability to get each other together, this is huge for my team. And hopefully they can just not talk shop for a couple, 2 or 3 days and really get to know each other. So it helps in the interaction, because you know how it gets when you're working with people, and people have different backgrounds and different experience, and they apply it towards what they're doing in their job. You might run into a couple headbutts going on. And as a result of that, feelings happen. Well, we want to get that to go away. So that's why we're out here. Take them to a place called Thunder Mountain, where they're going to blow stuff up, drive a monster truck, take a excavator, a big cat excavator, and smash cars. Maybe shoot some things. I don't know. It's something Ellen picked, and she arranged this whole thing. So I can't wait to get them out there and watch them just get some frustration out, because that's what everybody needs to do now and again. So jobs report. Let's get back to that. They were expecting somewhere right around 500,000 new jobs created, but we missed that, 431,000. Another thing that is big about that miss is a disproportionate amount of new jobs came out for people, that are younger, 16 to 19 years old, those upper teens. And as a result of that, you don't have near the hours, right? I remember when I turned 16, until I took a full-time job, actually, I was 18. I was working on a cattle ranch that was more than full-time. But when I turned 18, there was 2 options I had. I can go to Wyoming, and it was more than full-time, working in the oil fields there. There's also jobs at grocery stores, but none of them were full-time, right? The only part-time with that, and your pay just, is the bottom of the rung, right? Even at minimum wage today, it doesn't even remotely touch what we need to be able to do because of inflation. So as a result of all that, that I don't understand how. That's being taken as a big win, of course, in the jobs report. But if there's a lot of them from that particular side of the employment arena, I can't say that really is a big economy shaker. But it is, showing we have less than what was expected. There is a lot of speculation going on about what, just return of jobs that probably were already there anyway because of pandemic and all that kind of stuff. So, there's a lot that's going to play into that. But the big thing that hit hard was we had a revision. The 95,000 positive revisions going back into January, saying that there was more jobs created in January than what they had down. They do this quite a bit, and it's a lot of times to the detriment of what's happening with bonds almost every time we see a revision. In fact, let's get to the mortgage-backed securities. You guys can see what I'm talking about here, because we were on a pretty good trajectory with respect to the mortgage-backed securities before. Because we hit what looked like a pretty good bottom right here. We were talking about that on Tuesday, right? Look at us crawling back here. We did some pretty good reversal here. And then this morning, yesterday we're up. I drew this trend line to kind of show where things were hitting. And if you look at it, and I looked at a couple of different analyst charts. It's not something I just pulled out of my ass to draw this up. And so, some are saying, hey, we closed right back on the line yesterday, got above it, got above that downward trend line. And then it fell, and we closed right above it, which was good. They had some strength there. But today we opened up and we were decidedly below it, but we've been crawling back all morning. Right. So I put this on a live chart rather than a screenshot. In the charts, you can see it was all red this morning, way down here. So we were taking a beating, but it's crawling back. So that's encouraging to me. But we're on that line. If we can close above it, that's very encouraging to me. How long will it take to manifest itself into the rates? Hard to say, because they're not doing a lot right now. These movements, the negative stuff is really hitting the rates fast. Any positive movement is taking days to settle into the rates because there's so much negative, right? You look at that chart. I'm going to show it again. There's nothing but negative on this. And if you're a person that is going to be investing money in something, and you're seeing the stuff that you're putting money into is constantly losing, you kind of having a hard time putting more money in, right? But if you start seeing again some traction, days like this, some good days, maybe you'll throw some in, but then you have some loser days. It's hard for us to justify, or at least any investor to justify, playing into this market, throwing more capital in there, especially when we're talking about with inflation just being so rampant. We are going to see some rate hikes. These rate hikes, guys, wrap your head around this. These rate hikes that the Fed is talking about could be beneficial to mortgage-backed securities, right? Because it's going to stop some of this inflationary pressure. If it does that, can't say that it will, but if it does that, then, of course, it would be better to put money in bonds, right? Inflation eroding the dollar. You don't want your money sitting in some sort of investment that's going to take 30 years to pay you back when the dollar is being eroded. We talk about that, right? So the people who put the money up, or institutions, or whoever's putting their money into mortgage-backed securities, they're losing in betting on you and putting money in with you and investing with you in your investment real estate. You're the one who's winning, but yet they're still doing it. So the fact that they're still doing it, interest rates are as low as they are. I mean, we're faster than I thought hitting into the sixes. It's happening. Just get used to that fact. But look what's going on in the market. There's no way what's happening with these rates even remotely reflect what's happening out there in the market. You are still so many points ahead of the market by investing in real estate, even taking it at 6 or 7 or 8%. So be very, very happy you got that. Be damn happy we had that window of time in the threes. We got the yield curve inverted. You're going to hear about that. The 2-year and the 10-year, basically it's the short-term securities right now are basically creating more yield or more return to investors than long-term securities, right? So a 10-year or 30-year security is not giving the return because there's not as many people putting money into it than the short-term ones. Why? Because they want their money back out before inflation gets higher. That's basically why. That's why people invest into a shorter term security than in a longer term security, because longer term security is just going to erode and lose money. Shorter term, get your money in, get your money back out. That's where we're at right now. And that's what people want. It's kind of like doing a hard money loan. The more people you can lend it to at, say, a flat rate of 10% and 2 points, if you do that over and over and over again every year, that 2 points is what's going to make the difference, not the 10%. If it's 10% in 20 years, you're losing money. But if you do it 10%, 2 points, and you do it 20 times in 20 years, look what you got, right? That's another 40 points on top of the 10%. So think about that for a second, why people would want to do short-term stuff rather than long-term in today's high inflation environment. So that all being the situation, just take that and do with it as you feel you need to. But just know we're still in an awesome spot with rates. Don't get yourself all frustrated, get all crazy, running around looking at where you can find a better rate. It just isn't out there right now, guys. Just be happy with what you're getting and know that it's actually really, really, really good. See you guys on Tuesday.